In this video, we're going to look at how to take a fork diagram and turn it into the first stage of a formal outline. Both of these documents, both in their completed form and blank, can be found on our website. So let's go back to the fork diagram we worked on the last two videos with. So as you can see, we have our hook that we edited in by Atwood. We have our thesis statement. We have our major ideas and our supporting ideas. And all we're going to do at this point is copy and paste them directly over into the format. So let's go back to our hook by Atwood. If you have it done digitally, you can simply copy it and paste it right over here into our formal outline. Likewise, I can copy and paste the thesis statement that we had over here in our fork diagram and paste it right over here at the very bottom of the first sheet of the formal outline. The rest of the process goes pretty much the same. I'll come over here and go to my first major idea, which we decided was visual imagery. So again, I copy it here and I paste it at the top of my first body paragraph. Major idea number 1, top of page 2. Then I steadily move over the rest of my supporting ideas. I have setting with the line 1 quote, objects with the line 7 quote, and actions with the line 13 quote. Then I come back over to here and I look at my audible imagery or sound imagery. If you remember, we had wind, rain, and horses. Likewise, I copy them from the first one and I bring them right on over to here. And there you can see we have audible imagery. I even have my note about nature there. My first supporting idea, wind. My second supporting idea, rain. And my third supporting idea, horses. So you can see that this just directly moves over into this. I haven't changed anything. I've simply put major ideas in here. Notice how before I had these all in green, just so I didn't get confused. I kept it in green over here as well. And then there's my supporting ideas, 1, 2, 3, supporting idea, supporting idea, supporting idea. Now I just continue to do this process for the other 2 body paragraphs. Over here, as you remember, we have smell and taste imagery, olfactory and gustatory, and tactile imagery, along with their supporting ideas. Those can be seen over here as I go through the next 2 pages. There's the smell and taste. There's my first supporting idea that you saw from the other line. My second one. And my third one. There it is there. There it is there. And then I go down to my fourth and final one, which was tactile, as you remember, and we just had the 2, wind and rain. And then I just made a note to myself that that last one was not applicable. I didn't have a third example because that was a fairly short poem. In fact, let's bring that poem back up. So here's the poem that we looked at before, and here is our next step, which is also just a cut and paste example. So here's our poem. Eliot's Winter Evening Settles Down. And we went through and we highlighted each example of imagery as we learned how to do in our annotation section. And as you can see, visual is yellow, hearing is green, touch is blue, smell is pink, taste is red. And here's our poem. So, come back over here, and I moved back up to my first major idea, which was visual imagery. Visual. And I need to move over my examples. So you can see here I've got line 1, line 7, line 13. All I have to do is move these. So I'm going to come back over to here where I have my poem and move them over. So the first one was line 1, Winter Evening Setting Down. I'm just going to copy it just the way it is. And I'm going to move it over to here to where it says data and proof. Just going to move it right into this line. And this might, since I'm doing it directly onto the document, this might throw off my formatting just a little bit, but that's okay. It's not a problem at all. So I'm going to paste that in, and it went straight into there. Okay. I even have the advantage, because I took it straight out of my annotations, that the exact word that I really want to stress is already highlighted. I'm going to leave it that way because that's something simple. Additionally, there it is right there. I'm going to move the line number down. So I can remember exactly where that was. So here's my quote, there's my line number. If I need to, I can put quote marks around it to make sure I know that that's a direct quote. You notice right here, it's stating that this is where my quotes go. But I know that that's that way. Again, if it's something that my instructor's going to check, I can of course put in quote marks with just a couple of keystrokes real quick if I think that that's going to be a concern. Okay? And the rest of the process works the same way. As you can see, I've got line 7 and line 13. Let's move them on over. Line 7. And I don't just do the word or two. I go ahead and I use the entire quote. That way I get some context for what I'm saying in these. I paste those in and I move down my line numbers. Again, this is going to make going into the drafting process much easier because I've already given my citations so I can give my evidence as I go into this later on. And then my last one for this paragraph is line 13, the very last one of the poem. So again, I highlight line 13, copy it, and I move it over to the data proof section over here. And I'm simply going to repeat this process as I go through it. Making sure to include the information from each one of them. But since I did them digitally, moving them over is a very simple process that doesn't take me much time at all. So we're going to continue to do the rest of these, and then we're going to come back and look at this for the final part of filling out the body paragraphs for the formal outline.